You want to find it in my email with the numbers? Oh, today's calls. This for this call? Yep. Okay. Hey everyone, on our webinar, good afternoon or good morning if you're West Coast or Central Time. It's Jay, Mr. Real Estate. I'm here with a room full of my proteges, students, academy students. I'll pan the room. Everybody say hi. Don't look so like dry, like Jason. I'm not holding them hostage, I swear. They're happy faces. So, to all our other YMC members and JMA students, hello. We all salute you, and thank you guys for being on the call. Anyone just curious about what we're talking about, listen in. I'm actually going to do the call-in host now before people start cursing me out. 565.
This service is provided by freeconferencing.com. Please enter your access code followed by the pound. This menu will repeat.
Okay.
Access code accepted. There are 62 participants in this conference. This conference is being recorded. Please announce yourself.
That's not the host code. Please do that. All right. People are going to be mad. All right. So I want to start the webinar as Chris Darden gets our conference call going. Now you might want to call in and just let the conference call people know that we're, to hold tight. I see a bunch of noise on the line. So I'm going to be talking about today the vision and mission for the J. Morrison brand, which pretty much includes the J. Morrison Academy, our J. Morrison Real Estate Partners and other real estate acquisitions and things that we do, and also our community initiative, YMC, or Young Minds Can. So I'm getting my screen right. And I'll be talking a little bit to the room and also to you guys directly on the webinar. So if our webinar folks would just give me maybe another 30 seconds or so, I want to get the conference call people on before we officially start. So if everyone just hang tight, give me about 30 seconds, and I want to just get a full scope, so I don't have to repeat myself or anything like that, and I'll just take some notes in the meanwhile. But I appreciate all you guys for being on. It's gonna be an exciting call. I actually have some major announcements to make, some big initiatives that we're doing, and just to really show you guys behind the scenes, we're working really hard to bridge the gap, which we call it bridging the wealth gap, and moving our culture forward, which are just coming up with solutions, coming up with initiatives, coming up with partnerships, coming up with creative and innovative ways to affect our culture in a positive way. So we'll get right to that. I just want to get our conference call people on the line, so give me a second, please. And we have, YMC. Another way out. And real estate. Cover new courses. Too much brand new belt. Real estate new courses. Okay. And you on? Oh, okay, yeah, we're gonna hear all that. Okay, guys, yep, we're like a couple seconds from starting. For our conference call, folks, we're gonna do our question and answer, so it'll mute everyone. We don't really hear a million dings or anyone's noise. And it'll also give you guys opportunity to ask questions at the end of this webinar and conference call by pressing *6. So once you hear the Q&A session has started, you guys can actually get in the call session. So once our moderator clicks the question and answer session, we'll be straight. And Chris Darden is working on that. So let's see what we can do in a minute.
Callers are muted.
All right. So great. So I'm going to start, and I'll mute as well. We'll have the question and answer session start. That's not going to help. I just don't want to hear dings in the middle of the webinar. Thank you guys for your patience. I didn't say I was perfect. I'm just good. So, and that's also part of like what I was talking about to you guys before we started this, is just like the challenge of doing things is that, and as you'll see in business, real estate, entrepreneurship, philanthropy, whatever it is, things aren't going to go perfect. And that's why I did a video this last week for those who follow on a YouTube channel about, learning from your mistakes and living and letting them go. It's very easy to beat yourself up, especially for somebody. I'm like a perfectionist. Like I'm just like, I'm sick. I'm like OCD. So that could drive you crazy. What I found out is that if you thrive and put so much on trying to be perfect, one of my mentors, this guy's worth like so much money, owns so much real estate. He was just telling me, he was like, Jay, he was like, 80% done is better than 100% perfect, especially when you're doing a high level of business. Like, you're just not going to get every single thing right. I don't know what we're going to do about these things. I'm about to just start. But Chris, come on. Question and answer session started. Moderator, just hit question and answer session, and that will allow everyone to go in the queue and stop the dings. In the meanwhile, so I will start. So the J. Morrison brand is comprised of all the businesses and initiatives that I have created, that I was inspired to do. And going back into a little of my story, where it started is that when I really first got into real estate, I started as a loan officer in real estate. Then that's where I learned how to fix my credit. I learned about the secure credit cards, about your FICO score, about how banks view credit, and especially from a mortgage standpoint and getting loans. And that experience put in my head at 22 years old was the first time I worked for a mortgage company, right? And that was actually while I was on parole. So on parole on this thing called ISP, Intense Supervision Parole in New Jersey, where I had a 6 o'clock curfew, I had breathalyzer tests, I had drug tests, I had mandatory mentorship groups I had to go to on Saturdays. And I was very frustrated on parole because of the 6 o'clock. I was a grown man with a 6 o'clock curfew. And, I still was a knucklehead. My mind wasn't fully mature. So my mentality was, you know what? Instead of staying on this parole, I'd rather go back to jail, finish my time in jail, and come home with no parole. That was my genius plan. If I go back to jail, I could just do my last 8 months, work out.
Session started.
All right, we're good. That should be good. So I'm like, you know what? If I go back to jail, I can finish my last 8 months, come home, and I don't got to worry about anybody questioning me, no curfew, no anything, right? So that was my plan. I was going to go back to jail. Then I was thinking about my daughter, who was like 5 or 6 at the time. I'm like, man, I don't miss my daughter. And I started thinking about home cooked food. I'm like, And the pastor of the men's group I went to every Saturday, he was like our mentor, right? So we had like a group of like 18 men or 12 men or whatever in Plainfield, New Jersey. He would mentor us, like, have round group discussions talking about men's issues, and all of us were on parole and all that kind of stuff. So in those groups, he pulled me to the side and was like, Jay, you seem pretty clean cut. You have a lot of potential. I don't think you should go back to jail. I want you to try a job at this mortgage company. My wife is a processor. Just go try it. Put on some slacks and a button up and go try it. And I went there and they gave me a shot. And as I never even knew what a mortgage was. Like, I understood I had to do it buying a house, but I didn't really understand the complexity of a mortgage or the functionality of it or how it actually works. I had no real estate background at all. But when I went there, they broke it all down to me and how you actually get financed and where you get approved and refinancing, all that kind of stuff. So I brought that to my family, and then my family was so happy that I was not on the corner. Like my grandmother, she let me refinance her house. My aunt let me refinance her house. And I ended up making like $6 grand doing these loans. And I was like, wow, I just made 6 G's, legally, just pushing papers, just writing an application and pushing papers. So that was amazing to me to be able to make money by facilitating a deal and not have to look over my shoulder. So I did that for the last several months that I was on parole, and learned a lot about real estate and the financing aspect of real estate. And that gave me an edge as an investor. So, okay. So as I was doing financing, it dawned on me, for other people, it dawned on me that, hey, why don't I pull my credit and see where I stand in this equation? And so at the mortgage company, I pulled my own credit. found out it wasn't as bad as I thought. I owed a Sprint bill, old cable bill, there's things I had to clean up. But my whole thing was, if I put a plan in place to actually clean these things up, one day I'll be able to get qualified. And I also learned about how to get secure credit cards, going to a bank, giving them a amount of money, securing a card, and building my credit. So I did that. And after I got off the parole, I quit the mortgage company. I went back to the streets. It was just like, all right, this money's not fast enough for me. And I was used to a certain lifestyle, and I was just really lazy and didn't really want to get into professional business. It was like, this is what I know. So, but even while that stint from 22 to like 24, 25, I still was paying on my secure credit cards. I still was taking care of my credit. And after some other bumps and bruises in the streets, I was like, man, this whole drug dealer thing's not really working out the way I thought it was going to be. I'm going on 25, and I have 3 felonies now, 3 different states. If I catch another one, it's going to be bye-bye. And what really struck me, I was standing on a block in Newark, New Jersey, as I was having this conversation with myself, was the fact that I really believed in myself. Like, I knew I was smart. I knew I had charisma. I knew I had talent. But I'm like, why is it that I'm just putting it all in one negative space? And I was doing things that I knew that my daughter couldn't be proud of and that my mom couldn't be proud of. Like, I'm not gonna buy them things. Yeah, I had a nice car. I could be that guy that comes in with all the big bags for your daughter and it's like, yeah, look at me. But my daughter couldn't say, my daddy is this. My daddy does this. Not something that wasn't made up, story I gave her about what I really do. And so I decided to take the skills I learned in the mortgage company and about investing and actually go do them. And that's where I went back to the mortgage company, went and purchased my first house, second house, third house. In that process, learned a lot about how to facilitate a transaction and close a deal, and saw what the realtor was making and the properties that I were buying. And I was like, man, a realtor didn't really do much of nothing other than show me the house twice. Why don't I get that license too and I get that check? So I understood how to finance deals. Then I understood how to close transactions and look for properties and pool comps and do all those things. And then I started honing my skills as an investor. And then I found out that besides just using my own credit and using my own financing, that I actually could use my own credit, own financing, that I actually could wholesale properties and legally kind of middleman them on top of listing houses, right? So that's where I learned all things learned in the academy. This is all a process from me from basically like 22 on, just of soaking in the industry, having experiences, all the do's, the don'ts, and everything else. So it's true, at about 28, I made my first million and was just rolling. I was balling, I was doing my thing. But the difference in me then and me now was I was just all about me. Like, I didn't care about none of y'all, or you guys, or nobody. It was like, I'm getting my money and I'm gonna stun on y'all, and that's it. And my mentality, my maturity level really didn't change, is what really happened. So although I found a new hustle, I never really fully matured. And that's why I hammer home so much in the academy about professionalism and all those other kind of things, because it's not, for you guys under my tutelage, I'm just not trying to teach you real estate and go away. I'm trying to teach life transformation. I'm trying to teach next level. I'm trying to teach progression. I'm trying to bring back everything that has helped me, because as I made all that money, as quick as I made all that money, I remember going to the bank. One of my first big checks, I had maybe 30 grand in the bank already from mortgage deals and real estate deals. Then I closed a big deal for 93,000, and I had 100 grand in the bank. It's the first time I had 100 grand legally, and it was this is crazy. I could actually go to my bank and see 6 figures in my bank, and nobody could do nothing because it's all was done the right way. And then I remember owning I think I had maybe, I want to say 22 properties, and I had 700,000 in the bank liquid, and I was just amazed, yo, I'm living my dream. And I was speaking at the time a little bit, I was speaking in churches and I was doing some youth empowerment, but then all the money and all of that stuff got to my head. And I changed as a person. My hustle didn't change. I didn't start doing illegal things, but my mentality went from being the good guy to I got all this money, I made it. And it wasn't thank God, thank you for your blessings, thank you for your grace. It was nah, I'm that dude. I did this. I pulled myself out of the streets, I pulled myself out of the gutter, and I'm that guy. And that's when BT did a feature on me on Meet the Faith, the show they had on Sundays. Rockaware, I did a national campaign for Rockaware. I had a billboard in Vegas, a billboard in Times Square. I was in Vibe magazine. I was feeling myself, totally. And then I was being very aggressive with different businesses. I was buying a 19-unit building in Elizabeth, New Jersey. I was purchasing a 10,000 square foot commercial property in Hampton, Virginia, opening a nightclub. I had a courier service. Like, I got into other businesses. Like, real estate is what opened me up to actually entrepreneurship legally and doing other businesses. But my spending habits were nuts. Like, I just was like, I carrying like $7,000 in my pocket. My boy's like, why you got $7,000 on you like every day? Like, cause I can. And I wanted to be that guy and live that lifestyle. And that led to my downfall. I was paying for everybody's everything, right? Everything in my family, everything my boys wanted. Oh, you want to borrow 10,000? Cool. Oh, we go to the club, all bottles on me. And I was that guy. And I'll end up going broke. I'll end up actually going bankrupt from mismanaging my money and having the wrong financial responsibility and the wrong mentality, which is why I try to bring you guys back to those same principles so you don't have to go through the same thing. Fortunate enough I kicked myself in the butt for like 2 years. I was like stressing, like, because I thought I was the stupidest person in the world. Like, yo, how do you blow through $2-3 million? Like, how do you do that? I mean, we've seen athletes blow through $89 million. So, I mean, obviously it can be done. We've seen Hammer blow through $33 million. We've seen Tyson blow through $60-70 million. So I'm not the stupidest guy in the world, but I was really, I was depressed, like, because I think I'm really smart. And I'm like, how do you mess that up? And so, in God humbling me, when he brought me back and I got back into real estate, it was like, dude, you have a larger purpose. Like, you were living for you and you weren't living for me. You weren't living for your people. And so as I got back into real estate, I started climbing my way back and pulling all these different moves, and then got on, national television programs and doing NBC and selling major luxury houses and just rebuilding my brand and start working with celebrities and starting getting to, what we're going to talk about next, apartment buildings, everything else. As I started doing that, it was like me finding my why. Like, why are you doing this? Like, why do you want to do real estate? And it was like, why I love real estate so much is because it helped save me, I feel, because it actually showed me a real way out, right? It showed me another way out of the streets. And I also saw and felt the pride that I had when I purchased my first, I said, Lord of your land. It was a real prideful feeling. I know Tosin went through it. A real prideful feeling when you purchase that property, whether it's a lot, I don't care if it's a vacant lot in Mississippi, that's swampland. If it's yours, it's yours. But when I own my first property, and I could pull up and my tenants are like, the landlord's here. And it's me they're talking about, that feeling and that sense of responsibility actually does something to you. It does something to your psyche when you start owning your own property. You're just not the tenant. So all those principles is what I want to give back, and why I wrote the book, Hip Hop to Homeowners, why I started speaking in high schools, doing my Hip Hop to Homeowners financial literacy program, bringing a DJ in, teaching high school kids about credit and all that stuff early. And anyway, now I dropped the World Star videos, like giving messages to our community, wake up and all that kind of stuff. And I started seeing there were a lot of people out there in the world that had views like me or understood where I was coming from. And then hence grew the J. Morrison brand. But in that, what I found also was a lot of people wanted me to mentor them or be my apprentice or learn more of what I had to offer. But it's like, how do you mentor thousands of people throughout the country? I couldn't figure that out. Like, I didn't have enough time in the day to do it. And so through a lot of what I learned about technology and internet and just ways to kind of package yourself and package your knowledge and all that kind of stuff, we basically created the Academy, right? Which is an online program that allowed you to get my knowledge. But I just didn't want to give information. Like, I do that on YouTube. I got like 200 something YouTube videos. Like, I could do 1 million videos a day. That's easy. But then it's like, how do I actually engage you guys? So webinars, conference calls. The conference call that we do in the Academy every other week, you guys don't really take enough advantage of that, if you ask me. Like, I'm really on the line every other week. I haven't missed one call in almost 1.5 years. Just answer whatever you want to ask me. You got someone that's a wealth of knowledge and a lot of life experience that you can ask me anything. And I'll give you my best take on what you should do. So that's really the real value in the Academy, if you ask me. Outside of, for the $97 a month, the lessons are, you guys get a ton of knowledge from the lessons, the textbooks, the dictionary, the virtual protege lessons, and the bonus lessons. But the fact that every other week you have someone who's willing to be on the phone with you. That I have a lot of life experiences. Like I just showed you guys a little snippet of my story, but there's a lot I've been through, a lot I know, and a lot of adversity I've been able to climb through. So, and what I don't know, I know what I don't know. And I'm not a BSer where I'm going to tell you something I don't know. I'm saying, you know what, bro, I don't know that. But if you go here, you can find the answer. And that's another part. I'm very authentic. Like I'm not trying to be Mr. Perfect. I'm not trying to be I know everything guy. I'm the smartest guy in the world. But I'm smart enough to know what I don't know and what I do know. So anyway, from the J. Morrison Academy and from YMC, which was my YMC started as me basically being in high schools, empowering youth. And I'm like, yo, young minds can do anything. Well, it started as actually Young Millionaires Club. I'm like, hey, let's have a Young Millionaires Club. But then like all the teachers were like, I don't know, a millionaire means you got to make money. And I'm like, all right, fine. Young minds can, YMC. And that's because I believe that, you know, all of us, and I feel like in our community, a lot of times we feel like once you hit 30, you're old. Like 30 is young in the real world. And us as young minds, no matter what age we are, old minds too, can do anything if you apply yourself the right way. So anyway, that's just a little bit about the J. That's just a little bit. There's a lot more I want to say, but I want to keep this somewhat brief. About the J. Morrison brand and YMC. It's basically me packaging my experiences and being able to offer it to the world the best way I can. And so everyone knows back in September, we did a campaign with Young Jeezy called Another Way Out. And it was a big donation that Jeezy made for $1 million to the Academy to be able to provide opportunities for people that come from adverse circumstances, low-income backgrounds, ex-offenders, or whatever, right? So everyone's like, I want a scholarship, I want a scholarship, I want a scholarship. I'm like, I got to organize this. How do you give out $1 million in scholarships the right way to the right people? And of course, we all want a scholarship. Who doesn't want something for free? We all do. I want a scholarship. But everyone doesn't need a scholarship, especially when we're having an academy where your first month is free, which is only $97 a month, $3.23 a day. Like we all go to Chipotle, we get Happy Meals for our kids. We all, I mean, if you get a beer is more than $3 a day. Like, I mean, I can name a million things that are $3 a day that we all spend on. So it's not that you really need a scholarship. A lot of you is that you just want it because it's like, hey, I save where I can save. Nothing wrong with that. So what we want to do is, and what we're going to do in our Another Way Out initiative, which is part of our big announcement, is with the Another Way Out initiative from Young Jeezy. You guys will see the post tomorrow. We have a new website going up for Another Way Out. And we're actually going to use community partners to give away the scholarships. So we're talking about nonprofits, community organizations, fraternities, sororities, faith-based groups, or whatever, anyone that is actually impacting the community doing real work. We're going to have a very simple 4-step, 5-step application on Another Way Out site. And we're going to give tens of thousands of dollars at a time to different organizations for them to distribute the scholarships to people within their community, within their constituency. So we don't got to be, I don't want to be burdened with that issue of trying to figure out who do I give scholarships to. So if you are a community partner or you know of a community organization, please have them follow us. Hey, Chris, where's Chris at? I believe it's anotherwayout.scholarship.com. I'm just not sure if it's with an S or not at the end.
Scholarship.
It is scholarship. No S, no S. So if you guys go to anotherwayout.scholarship.com, that site will be live tomorrow, 3/12/2015. And anyone, like, refer to a community partner, Boys and Girls Clubs, mom and pop nonprofit, I don't care. Just apply with us. Our team will coordinate with you a grant donation for scholarship to the J. Morrison Academy based on the Young Jeezy and Street Dreams Another Way Out initiative. We're going to give away the full $1 million of scholarships throughout the country through our community partners who want to empower people by learning real estate investing. So for me, I believe in working smarter, not harder. And for me to try to give out $1 million scholarships it makes my life too difficult. So again, for anyone that knows of community partners, post it on your pages, your Facebooks, your Instagrams, whatever. Any community partners, simply go to anotherwayoutscholarship.com. And we have $1 million, which is 1,000 scholarships at the J. Morrison Academy we're going to be issuing to people that actually need it, targeted at-risk youth, people that are graduating GED programs, ex-offenders coming home, single moms, battered women, or just anyone that has adversity and can use what we teach in J. Morrison Academy: real estate wholesaling, financing, buying and flipping, buying and holding, branding yourself, in my mentorship, you'll get the full access to the academy for a year, and a full year scholarship by going through anotherwayout.com, anotherwayoutscholarship.com, and through our community partners. So anyone can drive any community partner there, and that's how we will delegate those scholarships. I'm going to be starting by partnering with a friend of mine and protege, Ashley Janelle Taylor. She's Ashley Janelle on Instagram. From Cleveland. We've been working on a women's in real estate initiative. And I'm going to donate $50,000 in scholarship to her, especially in honor of it being Women's History Month. We're going to give $50,000 in scholarships to Ashley to distribute to her constituency in Cleveland or wherever, however else she wants to disperse it. She's going to do a campaign for it, actually, I believe. We're going to do a Women in Real Estate initiative. Look out for that on my page as well. I'll be launching that tomorrow. And that's just going to be really women are a largely overlooked minority in our country, especially in this industry, in the real estate industry. Women are a minority, and we want to empower them. So we have a Women in Real Estate initiative under JMA, partner with my events director, who's also a protege in the real estate investing world, and she's going to be doing those, and we're going to give $50,000 in scholarships to her on her organization. And then next, I want to talk about in our big announcement phase is new courses. So I understand that, we teach real estate investing. The J. Morrison Academy is just not a real estate investing school. That was just our initial course. But we will also be launching this second quarter. We're going to be, which I've been saying it forever, and I know, but it's, I like to do things right. We're going to be launching our realtor mentorship program. Well, I'll be mentoring realtors throughout the country in the same kind of platform. You'll get bi-weekly webinars. You'll get bi-weekly calls with me. And I will actually help realtors walk, their brand to the next level, whatever that is. Because I understand as being a real estate agent, there's all type of niches. You may want to be a luxury agent. You may want to be an investment agent. You may want to be a short sale agent. You may want to be an industrial agent, just rentals, whatever it is. But I will help you get to that next level. Maybe it's a matter of how to pick your broker, how to pick your next broker, or how to negotiate with your broker, or whatever it is that realtors go through or real estate agents go through. I'm going to be offering mentorship through that. And this next quarter, we're also going to be doing a self-empowerment, self-mastery book club. It's just going to be a club that I'm going to do probably every other Saturday, where we're going to be reading books that I recommend, and we'll be discussing those books, and we'll be drawing from those books every other week. So we'll be doing that also in the academy. And then under YMC, which is basically YMC is the cousin of the academy. The J. Morrison Academy could have easily been the YMC Academy. I just kind of want to separate the two brands. YMC is way more community-based, and it's about solutions for our community, specifically the minority community. And in YMC, we're going to be doing a community call every other week as well. Probably every first and third Saturday, we're going to be doing this book club and YMC community calls, which is basically going to be talking about, we'll be going over Black history. We'll be going over current events that affect our community. We'll be talking about issues in our community, but also solutions for those issues in our community. And it's just me putting on my activism hat and really trying to come up with solutions to how we can move our culture forward and not stay stuck in last place. Also, in regards to new courses, I'm going to be doing a business branding and entrepreneurship course. And we're going to be talking about, for all entrepreneurs, how you actually, I teach branding in the academy, and it's a very good lesson too, I think. What do you guys think about our branding lesson two?
I think it's great.
1 to 10. I'm not judging nobody. 1 to 10, what do you give it?
I'll give it a 10. I'll give it a 10.
All right, mostly 10s. But no, we have a branding lesson in the academy. It's lesson 2. And you actually get that for free in the free trial. I don't mind. I give it away. But I'm going to be expounding on that because there's so much more to branding and how you actually run a business as far as automation, delegation, generating leads, and how you monetize those leads, how you organize those leads, staffing, accounting, bookkeeping. I mean, it's operations, marketing, sales. There's so many components to actually running a business, and I've run several, and most of them successful. I have had some flops, and that's another thing. I do offer what I've learned from my failures as well. So I'll give you what I learned from my successes, but I'll give you what I learned from my failures. So hopefully you can avoid those same mistakes. So I will be doing a business entrepreneurship class. That'll probably start in June. And And then we're going to be doing a really huge initiative I'll be launching in April is the next level to real estate investing, right? So I'm teaching you guys the basics of residential, but I'm working with one of my partners and mentors. I'll be introducing you to him. His name is Chris Urso, and we will be teaching you how to buy apartment buildings. So we're going to have basically a J. Morrison Academy's like master's program for those of you who have gotten the hang of residential or just want to know, how do I buy an apartment building, which we call an anchor property. An apartment building can anchor your family and your family legacy and your family wealth forever if you do it the right way and you build up. So not only will we be doing a course on apartment buildings, we'll also, we just locked it in yesterday, going to be doing our first conference. We're going to be doing a J. Morrison Elite Conference, Investors Conference in Atlanta this May. It's going to be a 3-day conference. It's going to be, I'm really giving too much away probably, but it's going to be a 3-day conference in Atlanta where we're going to have everyone throughout the country come down, and we're going to teach you over 3 days how you actually purchase apartment buildings, financing, how you evaluate them, the importance of it, and just that next level of real estate. And I'll also be covering some residential topics as well, because once you build your portfolio residentially, or you build some capital, or you have enough strategic partners, right? So maybe you don't own 10 houses, but you got a guy or a woman that loves you that does, or that has bank, but they don't have the knowledge. So that's the whole thing. If you have the knowledge and you do what we teach you in branding yourself and make people with money feel comfortable with you, and because of your work and diligence, you can broker any kind of deals and put any kind of relationships together. And therefore, maybe you're not the majority owner on an apartment building. Maybe you're the minority owner on an apartment building, but you started somewhere by leveraging your knowledge and your experience to be able to bring in a partner and actually get an anchor property for yourself and your business. So we'll be launching a J. Morrison Advanced and Elite Real Estate Investor Training, the conference and the course coming very, very soon. And so we did business, realtor, entrepreneur, self-mastery, YMC. And that's it. And there'll be some other things that come up, and it's all about, I just try to figure out, and what I've learned from the experience I told you is like, I read something about one of those parables or whatever about basically how you offer your gifts. And it's like, what I didn't do when I first made millions and had a lot of success in real estate, what I didn't do is I didn't offer my gifts back. I didn't offer my experiences back. I hugged them, I hoarded them, and I wanted to just keep them for myself. So what I've learned is that whatever talents, experiences, testimony, and gifts that God has given me, I try to offer those back as best as I can in the most responsible and affordable way that I can offer them back. And a lot of things we do, we try to do, if you look at the history of my brand, we try to do for free. Some things we charge a minimal cost for, because there isn't such thing called overhead. I mean, I've got people that have to pay me, a company to run. But I try to do as much as I can to give people back things that will actually empower their lives. That's less than going to community college, less than going to a 4-year college, less than whatever, but will actually get the job done for you. So we're going to be doing that and expanding the J. Morrison Academy in that way. And then we actually will be doing an internship opportunity for this summer. So you'll also, just for those of you who are following us, again, you'll follow me on social media. If you're not on our email list, just go to jmorrison.net or jmorrisonacademy.com and get on the email list. I send all emails, updates through our email list, and there will be a email, social media blast, etc., on our internship opportunities for JMA, because we're looking for copywriters, we're looking for graphic designers, we're looking for web guys, videographers, we're looking for people that can just add value to the movement and the mission of what we're trying to do to empower our culture. So, and it's just a short recap. Again, we'll be giving the full $1 million scholarships away from Another Way Out this year through our community partners. We are actively seeking community partners. I'll be doing a ton of posts about it. We'll be picking a majority of our community partners by March 31st. So be really aggressive about referring anyone by March 31st. I want to, because I honestly, I didn't sleep well knowing that, like, I just want to help people is the bottom line. So it's like the fastest I can get scholarships out and that can help lives, cool. I want to off my lap and I want to get on to the next way to help people. So I'm happy to be able to launch this now, have it organized. I'm happy to be able to launch our new courses soon. And I'm really excited about our conference. We haven't done a conference yet. I'm going to be doing more conferences, more boot camps. And I'm actually in the works on my next 2 books. One will be Lord of My Land, how to purchase a home, A through Z. I want to be able to do a book and a webinar series for anyone that wants to just learn how do you buy your first house and all those questions you ask, and how do you pick your realtor? How do you know what market? How do you get pre-approved? What happens if you don't get pre-approved? I want to answer all those questions in one book. So that book will be coming out, Lord of My Land. And then I'm going to be also doing a speaking series, another book called Broke Today, Rich Tomorrow. And that's how you beat the odds and maximize your potential. So that's going to be my next book, actually. And we'll be doing a speaking series on it at colleges, universities, anywhere else that is needed. But I'm going to be telling people just the intangible skills of what I've learned, of how whatever your situation is, wherever you come from, whatever your adversity is, how do you overcome that adversity, those odds? And then how you maximize your potential? How do you become your best you? And that's what I'm always challenging myself to do every single day, is being my best me. So this is just me offering myself to the world. Again, everything won't be perfect, but I am a perfectionist. And I'm always striving for perfection. So I hope that in that you guys get great value out of it. And with that, I want to open up for a question and answer a session. I believe we should be able to do it on the phone. Are we set up for that, Nye or Chris? Okay. So, and then we'll actually get to take some questions live from the room as well. So, what's going on, brother? I knew you was going to be on the call. How you doing, brother?
Hey, man, I'm glad you spoke on humbling yourself, because that's where I am now, Jay. Right now, I dealt with a lot, and I'm here to say, you know what, I'm going to stun on everybody. I'm going to get this money. I'm going to stun on everybody who made it. You know what I mean? So what was that key lesson you learned to actually humble yourself and do your job as an investor, but also helping others around you?
Great question, Greg. And Greg's one of our fellow Academy students. And unfortunately for me, I had to learn to humble myself the hard way. I mean, I had to really be like in a position where like I was flat broke with no car and borrowing money from my mom after being rich. And but the lesson that I took from that is that I guess there's more power, there's more glory, there's more admiration in helping others and being humble and leaving a legacy. There's just more value in that than you being a guy that it's like, then it being all about you, right? So yes, you can do whatever it is that benefits you and it's all about you, but what's your impact, right? So that's kind of what I got from really giving back is like, when I go, and we never know when we can go, you know what I'm saying? Like we have no idea when we're gonna go, but when you go, what are they gonna say about you? Oh man, that boy was stunting. Oh man, he was spending all the money in the club. Oh man, he had the hottest car. All right, great, but how long does that last? But when I go and Jay Morrison goes, whatever that is, I want them to say something great about me, that he impacted thousands. He changed thousands of lives, hundreds of thousands of lives, millions of lives, hopefully. So for me, it's just about having a larger purpose. And when you get that deep and that substantive, it's like that's when you really that's when your blessings really come. You know what I mean? Off talent, you can make some money. But it's I know in our culture, every other rap song and R&B songs too is all about stunting. It's all about the money. But life is really not. Like you could be rich and be miserable. You could buy some nice things. I mean, but purpose really gives you a different sense of peace of mind. And that's what I try to lead by example. And really what I want my Academy students to get out is like, all right, Jay teaching us this real estate stuff, but I'm also seeing that it's more to life than just that. Make sense? I don't know, where am I got disconnected? Okay. So is there anybody in the room that has any questions or comments? Okay, quiet room.
It's a lot of information. Yes, but I guess one thing with the you mentioned, my name is Fabian Byers, by the way. I'm from New York City.
How you doing, Fabian?
So thank you for everything you do.
Yeah. 1 second, we're gonna get. Hello, this is Jay. 1 second, I'm gonna get to your question. I got somebody in the room with a live question. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Go ahead.
Just real quick, the next level of real estate investing, you want to start that this spring or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, this spring we'll be launching the next level of real estate investing, which is how you buy anchor properties, apartment buildings, which is our niche, which is taking C-level apartment buildings, bring them to B levels, and then being able to cash out on those in years or leave them for a legacy and be able to get residual income from multiple units, get crazy tax benefits and tax shelters, and then also get the appreciation of those high income properties.
C-level means they're older, more distressed properties.
Right. Community might be in a rougher neighborhood or community or need more renovation, need to be re-tenanted or whatever. But so we're going to teach a lot of those principles through an online platform, but also through our conferences and coaching.
What would the cost be?
We'll get into that. All right. Hello. How are you? Our caller.
Hello, hi. My name is Kiana.
Hey, Kiana.
Hey, how are you doing? I have a question. Okay, I'm trying to start something of my own, like kind of like what you're doing with my community, helping people in my community as far as learning how to rent, learning how to own their own land. Those who are renting, learning how to fix their credit and go about just doing what you teach and bringing this information forth to them. How do I go about starting that? Right now I want to start off small because it's just me. I'm not really have anyone. But how do I go about starting that? Where do I start? I'm having a hard time trying to figure out what to do because there's just so much.
Okay.
that I want.
No, very good question, Kiana. So Kiana, for those who couldn't hear, Kiana said, I want to empower my community. I want to do what you do, Jay. There's so much I want to do as far as teaching credit, home ownership in my community, but where do I start? And what I tell everyone who wants to actually get active in empowering others, where you start is by starting. Just do it. Pick something and just do it. Whether it's a high school, whether it's a church, whether it's 3 little girls in your community that you take on a Saturday to the ice cream store or mentor them, whatever it is, it's just getting started. A lot of times we'll let our ideas hold us up and we'll let this perfection thing hold us up. But it's like if you have it on your heart to help empower others, just do it and you'll figure it out and let God guide you along the way. Just do what feels right to your heart. And as long as you're being authentic by it, you're doing the right thing and you let it unfold. Like what I started didn't start like this. It just started with me with an idea. And the first thing I did was February 10th of 2012. I spoke to 450 kids at Carteret High School. And I created something out of my head of what I thought would impact high school kids without boring them to death to teach them financial literacy. And I did one, and I did another, and I did 10 in 1 month. And then I fell in love with it. And so it'll be a trickle effect. But the biggest thing, Kiana, is just get started. Pick something and do it. Put some flyers out, put some Instagram posts out, and do it. I don't care if 4 people show up. You start from 4, build to 40. Okay? I don't know. I guess we'll go to our next caller. I don't know if Kiana got dropped. Yeah, I'm not sure what's up with our call thing.
No, I didn't get dropped. They muted me. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Are you back? All right, cool.
Thank you so much.
All right, no problem. We'll go to our next caller.
Hello?
Hey, how are you?
Jay?
Yes, sir.
Hi, my name is Mike. I'm from Newark, New Jersey. I'm a associate broker in my associate real estate broker in my office in Carteret, New Jersey.
Sweet.
Now that you spoke to you. Well, first of all, Mel listener referred me to you.
Yeah, Mel's my mentor. Yeah, Mel's the.
Yeah. He spoke very full volumes of you. Very good information on it.
Thank you.
Without sounding too spooky, I believe that everybody has a season in their life, and I believe that God sent me in your direction to give me guidance in 2 different directions. One, as a real estate broker, I'm many other investors, billions of dollars, in their property, buying properties and selling them, flipping them. And I believe this is my time to do the same thing for myself.
Okay.
As an investor, as an investor, I'm going to do it. And also as a real estate broker, your offices, you work in some of the offices, they just want you to make money for them, and without giving you proper training. So I believe that this instruction you're going to have in a couple of months, I think that's going to work to speak volumes for me, help me out in my career as a real estate broker. So I'm going to be joining your academy today.
Sweet.
And I'm ready to get started.
All right, that's what's up. And that's what we want to do. And you hit some great points. And that was part of my experience. I've had years of experience as a real estate agent. Like I've worked for Keller Williams. I've worked for Century 21. I worked for Caldwell Banker, and I've worked closely with the vice president of North America with Caldwell Banker about doing minority initiatives and everything else. I've worked for Sotheby's International Realty. I've been to all different types of brokers, and what I didn't like about my experience as an agent, there were some highlights of it, is that I'm just a very independent person, very independent thinker, and I want to be able to move how I want to move. And a lot of that, being under a broker's license or under their company, you can't move how you want to move, especially when you're as adamant as I am about empowering the minority community. A lot of people talk that they are interested in that, but if you look at it, they're it's 92% of realtors in America are white. 4% are Hispanic, 4% are African American. Out of all the realtors in America, 1.3 million, 4% are minority. Or 8% are minority. Or at least Hispanic and Black minority. So when you talk about I went to a realtor convention, in Atlantic City. And I'm in a room with all these brokers, and I swear it was 2 Black people, including myself. I'm like, it's 400 people in this room. Right, this can't be right. And so that's when I got really aggressive about like, hey, like it's not. I'm not saying it's a white person. I don't blame anyone for that regard. I'm just saying that something missing. There's something missing there. And so, that's when I started being more vocal about, us seeing the lanes that are available in the real estate industry, but also what about the real estate industry who's making all these millions of dollars? The Realtor Association, what are they doing to actually target and make this industry more relatable and marketable to minorities? And they have all these minority coalitions and community groups and all that, but it's apparently not working. So I'm happy to offer whatever training that we can. And once you join the academy, bro, you will see that I will teach you how to be a real estate investor yourself. And with the knowledge that you already have as a broker, you'll be able to knock this out the park. Believe me.
Well, I'm here, especially after Mel gave me that take on you. I'm here.
All right, appreciate it. And a quick story on Mel. Thank you, bro. Mel Listner is the owner of the real estate school that I got my license from in like 2004. He's like probably about going on 80 years old now, 80-year-old Jewish guy. And he's the one that actually got me on my community activism. He was like, let me tell you the problem. He talks like with a real husky voice. Let me tell you the problem with you Black people. See, I grew up in the projects in Newark. I'm Jewish. This is what Jewish people did. We stuck together. We spent money in our own communities. We got educated, and we started to own. You guys don't own enough. You spend all your money. This is my Jewish mentor telling me, like, look, this is how you fix the Black community. You guys spend too much money. You don't own enough. And you don't work together enough. He's telling me. And if you look at the history of Jewish Americans or Jewish people in general, they had a lot of adversity as well. But they pulled themselves together by being a community. And so that's what I'm trying to give back. That's what YMC is about. That's even what a sentiment of what JMA is about. Like our new mission is to provide effective and affordable real estate education to low-income constituents and minorities. It's for the masses. It's for everybody. I teach for everybody. I don't discriminate. Of course I don't. My partner, Chris Urso, who we're going to do the apartment coaching with, he's a white guy out of Long Island. Like, it doesn't matter that the skin color doesn't matter, but I cannot ignore the facts of what people with darker skin, what their statistics are in this country. I'm not a fool. I'm not going to pretend to be a fool. So therefore, I want to be proactive about how we empower those people. And again, guys, if we were purple, if we were green, or anything else, but the stats showed that green people were the poorest, were the most in prison, were the most single parents, were the most in drugs, were the most unemployed, were the least homeowners. If that were green people, I'd be adamant about empowering green people because the green people would need it the most. Because obviously they're lacking if they're last in everything. It's as simple as that. And that's what is that's what, if you follow all great leaders from Jesus to Gandhi to Muhammad, whoever, they were about empowering the people that were of the least. And that's where I come from, right? So next caller. Hello. Yes. Yes, it's me.
Okay. Hey, what's up, Jay? This is Patrick from Nashville, Tennessee.
How you doing, Pat?
I'm doing good, bro. I've been enrolled in your course. I've been following you about a year. I've been enrolled in your course, and I had to drop out because of that stuff. But I will be there. My question is, I took up the whole 7 and got a part of my real estate investment network here in Nashville and everything. Got plenty of people, everything, and I'm at the point where I've had a lot of leads, but I actually got my first house where I have a buyer pretty much under contract for $60,000 for a $120,000 house.
Nice.
Here's my thing. I come from the same background, and I'm still out here in the game, like the streets, man. So I'm trying to get up out of this shit. But I have enough money to buy this house. $60,000 is pretty much you cashing out. I'm going to talk to a private money or hard money lender. They're willing to loan me the money to buy it, but they ask me, well, how are you going to pay me back? How are you, where do you get your income from? And I cannot answer that question, on a judgment.
Gotcha.
I'm pretty much going to have to just wholesale this place and make $10,000 off of, or I actually have to get invited lined up to $70,000. So I'm saying, like, coming from a situation like that, how do you, I actually have 2 questions, but coming from a situation like that, how do you, hard money lender to money when you can't prove for you money, but you have money,
Well, typically, my experience with hard money lenders they don't really ask for the income, like your income, if you got a company set up and you have an exit strategy. So their concern is like not you coming out of pocket necessarily. It's all how you structure the deal, but it's more about, well, how do we get our money back? And how they get their money back is by the flip, really. So it's kind of really just a better way for you to structure the deal. So what I would advise for you in regards to us, like really like, and for me to see a whole situation, is for anyone really on the call or on the webinar. If you guys have complex situations, you have capital, you're trying to figure out your next moves, whatever, look at investing in our one-on-one coaching. And I have one of my coaching clients, he's actually one of my academy students who just invested in one-on-one coaching today. Chris is here in the room with us. But hit Nigel, right? You can email Nigel, Nigel, Nigel at jmorrison.net. Hit Nigel up and just ask him about doing a call with you on one-on-one coaching. And it allows us really to dissect your situation and really give you an executable blueprint for how you circumvent all the issues you're talking about.
Okay, I'll definitely do that. My second one is, when is this, okay, it's Atlanta. Like, I came to Atlanta at one point in time, a few months ago. I used to live in Atlanta, and I know a lot of people in Atlanta. I've been telling them about you, and, this is the way out, like, streets, they can take your money, take your, put it in this real estate, take it. When is the next time you'll come into Atlanta? Because I want to learn some put knowledge out here, game out here, like,
You appreciate it.
yeah, like, when is the next time?
Yeah, well, we should be in Atlanta in April doing some promo and marketing for our conference in May. But if you want to, again, set up something private with a group of people that, may want to invest or want to get more knowledge, hit Nigel up and we'll see if we can do something exclusive with you guys. And again, I'm willing to invest in anybody that's willing to invest in themselves. But I'm not, I can't allow myself to get burnt out just trying to help everybody who's not even willing, who's not even serious and ready to go. But if you hit Nigel up, we can work something out with them. Or as you follow me on IG or whatever else, Facebook, Twitter, you'll obviously see where I'm at. But we should be in Atlanta sometime next month, though, is my guess.
It's
Nigel. Yep. .net, jmorrison.net.
All right, cool.
All right, peace. Anybody else in the room with a comment or a question? All right, cool.
Hey, my name's Albert from Queens, New York. I've been located in distressed properties in Brooklyn area, but I have a difficulty finding phone numbers for the owners of the home.
Mm-hmm.
How can I go about that? Okay.
So you guys on the call and webinar, Albert, who's here in the room, was just asking about, he has distressed properties that he's finding in Brooklyn, New York.
Yeah.
And he's trying to figure out how does he find the numbers to sellers, right? To these distressed properties, or to the owners.
To the owners.
Right, correct. So what I tell everyone, we get this question a lot on the academy calls and everything, is it's just about luck, a little bit of luck and diligence. So the first thing that I do is two approaches really. One,
Thank you. It's cleared.
okay, so yeah, one thing that I do is approach the city hall or town hall and try to find anybody that has any knowledge on that particular property, from a clerk or anyone like that, any knowledge of the owner. So I take that approach to see if there's any luck or finding a real address for the owner as opposed to the property address. Or I do community research as well as online research as well. You can Google the address, Google the owners, see if you find a Facebook forum or some other kind of info on them online, or ask people in the community, the postman, the postwoman, neighbors, or anyone else. Hey, do you know about Miss Wilson? Do you know about Mr. Robinson? Do you know any of their relatives, anybody in the neighborhood? You got to try to track them down. There's like no magic button for it, but you got to really track that person down. And as well as sending mail there, just so there's mail in case someone does come pick up the mail, whether it's an estate attorney or a state manager or some property manager or whatever, you want to have your mail sitting there as well, notifying them that, hey, I'm interested. Yeah. All right, so
I have a question.
Sure thing.
It's kind of a loaded question, if you will, but my name is Brian. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri.
Okay.
Coach invited me, my best friend.
Okay.
For quite some time. My question is, how do you really walk a fine line between helping the community and helping yourself? I can't help the community if I'm hurt.
True.
I got to eat first, and then I can give. I can give it back. So how do you walk that line and know, okay, now it's time for me to really give back in an impactful way, or should I wait a second and make sure that my belly's good?
Right, I got you. Your name's Brian?
Yes.
Okay, so guys who can't hear in the conference call or the webinar, Brian just asked, how do I walk the fine line of helping the community, but also helping myself, making sure that my belly's full, or I'm surviving, because you can't help others if you can't help yourself, is the general thought. Which is a very good question. And there's a simple answer and there's a very complex answer.
Yeah.
But no, it's a very good question. So for me, honestly, a lot of it has been on faith and follow my instincts. So I found that when you follow your heart and when you follow your purpose, doors open up and magical things happen, right? So a lot of times we and not to get too preachy on you, but they say faith is a substance of things not seen and things hoped for, right? So it's like you may not see what's around the corner for you, but you got this pulling at you yo, help your community, help this person, help whomever. You can ignore nah, I gotta get my money first. But you didn't even know that blessing that was right around the corner from just you doing what you were supposed to do, right? And just following your heart. And then a lot of community help also doesn't really cost money. It's just time. And a lot of us, we all have time. It doesn't cost money for you to say, yo, I want to do a men's group mentoring every Saturday at my house or at my church or at this park. Or I want to do a basketball league, or I want to do whatever. Those things don't really cost money. It's just effort and time. So that's one component. It's just really just doing it and getting into it and not trying to necessarily, it don't got to be grand and big to start, just serve your purpose. And I do believe in a residual of when you invest in the community, it comes back to you. For us, you guys, a lot of our marketing, right? Because it's very easy to engage the intellectual within our community. The college student, the college grad, people that are more conscious, that are more aware and all that. For me, for some reason, I go for the roughest, hardest hit, the most ignorant, the most undeveloped people in our community. I try to turn them around, which is very difficult. So that's why we do a lot of marketing promotion on World Star Hip Hop and sites where people are found that fit that demographic. And when we do, even for my first wake up video, when I was in the back of the Maybach and I'm cursing and screaming and all that kind of stuff, that video, I didn't know that video would do 250,000 views in one day. I didn't know that video would kind of explode our brand and go viral. We paid $2,000 to put that video up. And honestly, I didn't even want my name. If you notice in that video, I didn't say my name once. I didn't mention real estate once. I actually wanted to be an anonymous person doing a video. At the end, I put my website of that video. And the only reason I put my website at the end, because I felt like I needed some kind of business, some kind of something to it, because they were charging me $1,500 to put a positive video for our community. They'll post people fighting, high school girls fighting, freaking strippers on poles. They'll post druggies passing out and everything, gangbangers shooting each other up. They'll post that for free. They'll post a wackest rap video for $700, but me posting a positive video to motivate our community, they want to charge me double. It's the only reason I put my website on that video. I actually wanted to be an anonymous video of just some crazy guy giving a message to the community. And so it just all boils down to just, again, just doing it and following your passion. I mean, I can't really speak enough to, like, when you just follow what's in your heart, you know what I'm saying? When you know when it's pulling at you, when you just follow that, doors open up. Is really my true answer. But yes, you do have to make sure that you're okay, and there is a balance to that, but just always make sure your intentions are good. Anybody else in the room or on the call?
Yes, hello?
Yes, ma'am. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm great.
This is Princessa from New York. And I'm very new to this whole industry. I'm not actually in the industry yet. I'm taking my last class this month at the New York Real Estate Institute here in Manhattan. And I initially got into or was interested in real estate because I wanted to purchase property of my own, so I wanted to learn the ins and outs of it. But from being in the class, it's all about get with the real estate broker, and you're working for them, but it's all about you making the money for them. And I was just wondering at what point, do I start to learn how to do the investment and, everything that you're doing. So I came across your website and your academy. I was wondering, do I go and apply for my real estate license and then just jump right into your class? Or do I apply for my real estate license and then go get with a broker and still jump into your class? Or do I hold off on working with the real estate broker because I'm currently working full time and I just didn't want to put too much on my plate? And I'm very interested, in owning property, being the lord of my land and passing this information on.
Gotcha. Yeah, so that's no, it's a very common scenario is that people that, and that's what I did. A lot of us say, you know what, I want to get into real estate. So the natural thing when you think you want to get into real estate is go to realtor school, real estate school. But they don't really teach you, I guess, what you're kind of looking for. They're just teaching you the components of being an agent. So I don't know all the ins and outs of your situation to give you the most educated answer on your personal situation. But what I will say is that in the academy, I have a video, and it's on my YouTube as well, the difference between a real estate agent and an investor. And it breaks down pros and cons. I think you should look at that. Secondly, if you want to invest, we will teach you that, and you can learn at your own pace, being that all stuff is online, and you'll still get my mentorship every other week on the calls. So I think that would be a benefit to you and joining our class. And as far as you going with it, what do you say? Okay. And as far as you going with the broker, that just is going to be depending on how enthusiastic you are about being a real estate agent. Because you going to hang your license with a broker is not going to help you as an investor per se, and it's not going to really help you as a homeowner. It will just help you be a licensed and registered real estate agent, which will allow you to make commissions on listing someone's property or on a property you may purchase.
Okay, so do I still get my license? I don't even need to. I can just complete the class, then I can just jump into your tab.
Right, and I think you have probably like a year grace period. I would double check that. Like, what's your grace period before you can get your license? Because you certainly can do both, right? Or you could just say, you know what? Let me take in this information. Let me give it 6 months, 4 months, 3 months, digest it all, and then make an educated decision on what you want to do. No problem. So I hope that helped. So we're going to go to a question in the room, and I'll get to like another caller on the call, and we'll do like another 5 minutes or so, and then we're going to wrap up. So you had a question, bro?
Yeah, Jay, how you doing? My name is Morrison Wood Jr. I'm from Prince George's County, Maryland. You mentioned an internship this summer, and I put a star here. I need this. So what I want to ask is, when you're looking for a mentor, the internship, are you looking for like different interns in different cities to grow the brand and expand, or are you just looking for individuals that have particular talents as far as, like you said, computer-based design or?
Right. Actually, both. So I've been trying to figure out a way, like with YMC and JMA, how do we impact different? How can I create mini-me's and impact different communities, and just extend myself and have like authentic people in different areas that are, pushing our message really.
Right.
So I'm certainly interested for people that want to step up and be more like an ambassador to JMA or YMC in their community. I'm totally willing to always have those conversations. And that'll be kind of a part of our internship thing. And then just internally within our company, just people that can actually help out and maybe grow to different positions in our company as I want to try to really expand. Because right now we're young. I mean, the Academy is only a year and some change old. The YMC movement's only a couple years old. So I really seen us being big. I think there's a lot of traction. I'm constantly working on developing my message and, what I'm doing and just different ways to just being creative and trial and error. Like, our marketing this last fall, we did more of an urban marketing campaign, if you guys didn't notice. We did. And just for my followers, I didn't remember. But no, we did want to target marketing towards the urban demographic. And, we tried that. We just tried different things to figure out how can we fix the issues that we're having. And we're reaching different people. So, but yeah, anything that anyone can contribute, we're more than willing to have those conversations. All right. Do we have a caller on?
Yeah, Jay.
Yes, sir.
All right. How you doing, man? My name is Derek from Atlanta, Georgia. I live in Atlanta, Georgia, please. My question is simple. Like, I just moved a little too fast to the state of my job and saved up a little more money than I did. But basically what I've done is I've been to class, got my real estate license, like last year. I got my real estate license, got with a company. It's a good company. They are more intensive real estate companies that we got to do a lot for our clients that most real estate don't, which is a good thing because I'm learning a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I got a couple buyers orders signed. I got a couple people signed up, a couple, so we can represent them as a buyer. So that's going to be like a month or 2 months to closing if they go through. So my question is this, like, if I want to be part of your academy, because I did all this intentionally to work on my credit to basically invest and not be under the license, restrictions. So that's my whole purpose of this is like, in my mind, steps to get to that point. But because I did that, and like I spent $1,000, like $1,500, and just all the welcome packs, buying the forms and countless other things and the license thing to get where I'm at now. So I'm still working part time just to pay bills for my family, signing these contracts. So I'm curious, if I sign up for your class, if say this house doesn't close, or because in the last 8 years, $97 a month was never been in consideration. Like that's no money. That's very reasonable for what you get. But with the moves I've made, now I'm thinking of next month, can I like put it on pause until one of these deals goes through, or I can work a little more than part time? I got to take care of home work. Could I join your class and put it on pause for like a month and then start back where I left off? Or once I start, I'm there for the year.
Yeah, I mean, you could
wait a couple months until I get okay and then sign up.
Yeah, I would probably recommend you that you wait and get okay first. You can stop though anytime in the academy. It's just that it's very difficult us to put you back in where you stopped. So you may have to start back from the beginning. It's really hard just the way our system works to put people in. I do want to also mention that with the academy, I'm going to be doing 2 major things differently. Is for the people that purchase the full year course, where you get like 3 months free basically, we're going to be offering all the videos up front, like all the lessons up front, right? So that'll be your bonus for buying the whole year. But we're also going to be offering each semester a la carte, meaning that you can just get the wholesaling if you want, just the buying and flipping, just the financing, or just the buying and holding. So you get 3 months of mentorship in just the semester that you particularly want, and you'll get all those lessons, all 6 lessons right away as well. So for those of you who want to do the academy at a faster pace, we will offer it where you can get all lessons unlocked if you get it yearly or semesterly. For the month-to-month students, it will be lessons. We're actually going back to our lessons every other week. So for those of you who are in the academy getting lessons every week, you'll be good. But starting another month or so, we're going to go back to our original format of lessons every other week. I've actually found that students have had more success digesting information, getting it more gradual. But for those who want to learn faster, you can get it, again, semesterly or yearly. But yeah, for you, bro, I would either just wait and save up, make sure you're comfortable. I understand what you invested in your agent, your real estate agent career. Or at least get a few months ahead and or get a semester at a time or whatever it is. All right, cool. So I'm gonna take like one more question or whatever, one or two, and then we'll get out of here. It's getting hot. I want to eat.
What's up, Jay, man? This is Josh from Memphis, Tennessee. Shot the video for you the other day.
Oh, how you doing, bro? Great video.
Doing good. I'm doing good, man. I appreciate that. I really have a question. I just wanted to comment. I recently just finished up the academy. I think like last month, the whole year did, and everything that you teach. In the beginning, your wholesaling, it just changed how we do business. I even started this with me and my partner. I'm talking to you about. And for people that's interested in joining the academy on the fence about it, it's a full 360 real estate investor course. It's not just wholesaling, not just buying and flipping. It teaches you from A to Z. So that's what I really like. I really didn't get grasp of that until I got to like the fourth semester. I was like, oh, okay, that's what he was talking about in the beginning. So that's real big, man. And I know me and my partner we just been following your branding, and we getting some traction, and things are going well. So yeah, that's all I just really want to say. I'm on the call. I follow you 100%.
I appreciate it, bro. And that was one of our academy students. We did a testimonial video for us. The two partners out of Tennessee. They actually met in the academy. They didn't know each other. So they both from Tennessee, partnered up, created a company. And he was just saying that he just finished the academy last month. He was one of our students that got the lessons every other week. And he did all 12 months. And he said he really didn't understand the full picture of the academy until he did all 12 months. And that's kind of how I created it. It was to be the 4 things that I learned in real estate that really made me a millionaire. There were 4 components. It was wholesaling, it was a financing component, it was buying and flipping, and then buying and holding. Like those are the 4 components. It's very important for you guys, even if you don't use it now, to put it in your pocket and just know that stuff for life. Even if you don't use it, but you can tell your sister, your girl, your whoever, your daughter, your son, whomever, this stuff is just really valuable information because it is the basics of how the world works. Everything is real estate. This conference room we're in right now is a piece of real estate. Somebody owns this building. And we're going Ruby Tuesdays after this down the street, and somebody owns that. And wherever you're watching this webinar or listening to this conference call, you are in or on a piece of real estate. But how does it work, though? If you don't know how it works, you're putting yourself in a really tragic position, and your family just not even knowing how this real estate system works. So with that, I want to actually wrap this up. I appreciate everyone for being on the call, on the webinar. I love the energy. And again, we're just trying to give back. Make sure you tell your community partners, go to anotherwayoutscholarship.com. Look out for our internship program. Look out for the new courses. Promote these videos. Like push the message. This comes from the right place. It's very authentic. And I thank all my students for being in the room. And I wanted to, if you guys, maybe we'll do another video, but I do want to really get where you got, we have students from like all around the country who have drove in or flew in or who have came. And I just, again, I commend all you guys for supporting and just being a part of this. But for me, again, thanks you guys for all the, just being here, being present, hearing what the mission and vision is. And that is to bridge the wealth gap in America. It is to bridge the gap between the underserved, the minority community, and get us to the next level, move our culture forward. And I believe that through mentorship, through ownership, through collaboration, that we can do this. So with that, we are out. This is JMA, YMC, J Mr. Real Estate. Peace. Yeah.